Hello, David Attenborough. What animal do you think will become extinct next?
Okay, y'all, imagine this. It's just another regular day at school for Prince George. He's doing what kids do, just quietly working on this little art project. Nothing fancy, just something from the heart. But then, out of nowhere, one of the other kids decides it's time to be a clown and starts making fun of it. Now here's where it gets good, because Princess Charlotte saw the whole thing go down. And y'all, she didn't pop off. She didn't yell. She didn't even make a scene. She stood up for her brother, but in a way that even the teachers had to pause for a second. See, Charlotte didn't just defend George because he's her brother. She did it because that drawing meant something. It wasn't just crayons on paper, it had a message behind it, something their family taught them about honoring people who serve the country. That's deep, especially for kids that age. And get this, while the other kid was busy being loud, Charlotte's little moment ended up being the one everyone remembered because she showed maturity beyond her years. And honestly, it's something any of us can relate to, whether you've ever stood up for a sibling or wished someone had your back like that. Now I know what you're thinking. Did this really happen? Let's walk through it. And I promise, by the end, you'll believe every second of it.
Is this filming?
Hello? Hello?
Alright, so picture this. George is in class, and the teacher asks everyone to draw something that makes them feel peaceful. Most kids start sketching their pets, the beach, maybe some trees, but George, he quietly picks up his crayons and starts working on this soft little landscape. But here's the part that matters. He includes a little robin right in the center. Now this was deeper than that. See, there's this well-known story in royal circles. Princess Diana once told someone that if she ever passed, she'd come back as a robin. That bird became a symbol in the family, almost like a quiet way of feeling connected to her. And George, being that sensitive, thoughtful little guy he is, added the robin to feel close to a grandmother he never got to meet. This wasn't about showing off. He wasn't trying to impress anyone. It was a personal, emotional tribute tucked into a class assignment, just a kid expressing something deep in the only way he knew how, through crayons and a bird. But of course, not everyone in that class saw it that way. Okay, so every class has that one kid, right? The one who always needs to be seen, always has something to say, usually at the worst moment. In this story, that kid was Rufus. Comes from money, super confident, and kind of known for making the class laugh, even if it's at someone else's expense. So Rufus takes one look at George's drawing, and right in front of everyone, he starts roasting it, points at the robin, and says it looks like a chicken swimming in mud. Like, really? The whole class bursts out laughing, not because it was funny, but because that's what kids do when they don't want to be the next target. They laugh to stay safe. And for a moment, Rufus was the loudest voice in the room. Now here's what most people miss. This wasn't just random teasing. Some kids see other kids who are gentle, thoughtful, or artistic, and they don't know how to handle it, especially when that kid is also a prince. So it becomes envy or confusion, or maybe they just want to feel big by making someone else feel small. And George, he didn't snap back. He just looked down. And y'all, it was quiet, but not for long.
Hello! Hello, Marie! Oh, hello, you're so pretty!
Chocolate. See, flowers, chocolate. Very easy.
Oh, yes! Charlotte! Bye!
So now here comes the part that had people talking. Charlotte, George's younger sister, is sitting just one classroom over, and the way the school is built, there's this big glass wall separating the rooms. She's close enough to see everything going on. Now, what most people don't realize is Charlotte's energy is different. She might be younger, but she's confident. She's got that vibe. Teachers have even said she's more outspoken than George. So when she saw her brother getting mocked like that, that's when she made her move. She walks out into the schoolyard, but straight over to Rufus. She just hands him a folded piece of paper. Now Rufus is confused, obviously. He's like, what's this? And Charlotte, she says, it's yours now. Inside that paper, a sketch. But not just any sketch. It's that same robin, the one Rufus used to mock George with. But this time, the bird looks strong, perched next to a boy who's facing facing away, but the bird, it's staring right back at you. Even the staff caught wind of it. It wasn't on the news or anything, but insiders say the teachers were talking. They called it a powerful student exchange, which is grown-up speak for dang, she shut it all down. And here's the kicker, Charlotte didn't get in trouble, not even a note home. Now think about that. Most schools, a student confronts someone directly, even if it's peaceful, they might get pulled aside. But here, the school didn't punish her. That's a quiet way of saying they understood what she was doing. This wasn't about revenge. It wasn't petty. It was about dignity. And honestly, that kind of maturity from someone her age, that's rare. So fast forward a few hours. The school decides to give the palace a heads up. Nothing dramatic, just a respectful little update. Now here's where it gets real. Catherine hears what happened and reportedly said something like, "She defended him." That's deep coming from a mom who's been through the media ringer herself. She knows the power of staying composed when things get ugly. And William, he apparently went quiet after hearing the story, just said, "I know what that feels like." And honestly, that's believable. William's been open before about being bullied growing up, not just for being royal, but for being different. His own mother, Diana, dealt with people constantly poking at her. So for him to watch his son go through the same mess, that had to hit hard. But what stood out here is that neither parent overreacted. No calls for suspensions, no public statements. They let Charlotte's actions speak for itself. It showed just how much they trust their kids to handle life with strength and grace.
Hello, I'm Barbara. Nice to meet you. Yes, it is. That's so special. Thank you very much for Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now here's the part that really got folks talking. A few days later, there's this art competition at school, and George, he doesn't sign up right away. He's still dealing with everything. But Charlotte, she slides him that same sketchbook she used earlier and tells him, "You've got something to say." That moment clearly stuck with him because George decides to enter, but not with a loud message. His piece is powerful. He draws this sky full of birds. Some are flying straight, some are stumbling, but they're all in the air. And in the middle, a boy, not in royal robes or with a crown, just a regular kid holding out his finger and a bird is perched on it. That drawing was titled "Still Worthy of Wings." And listen, he didn't win first place or anything, but insiders say the staff gave it special recognition for emotional depth, and that speaks volumes because George wasn't trying to impress anyone. He just wanted to show that even if people try to clip your wings, you can still fly. Maybe not perfectly, maybe not fast, but you're still in the sky. It wasn't flashy, but it said a lot. And honestly, that kind of quiet confidence hits harder than any trophy.
It's been obviously fantastic, and she's been a little joy of heaven, but at the same time, it is more responsibility looking after two little ones, especially when George is around. He's a little monkey, but no, it's fantastic having a lovely little family, and I'm so thrilled. And Catherine has been doing an amazing job as a mother, and I'm very proud of her.
So here's what went down. A photo of George's drawing somehow made its way online anonymously. It wasn't flashy, no big royal watermark, just a really heartfelt piece of art shared in this small parenting Facebook group. And honestly, it blew up. Within 3 days, it had over 50,000 shares. People weren't even sure who made it at first. They just loved the emotion, the simplicity, the way it felt pure. The post didn't say Prince George or Royal Kid. It just said it was from a student named G. But the clues, they started adding up. See, in the next school newsletter, tucked in a corner under the weekly highlights, there was that same drawing. Right there under Student Spotlight, it was signed G. Same strokes, same colors, same message. That's all it took. What made it go viral, though, wasn't just who made it, it was the story behind it. The idea that this quiet, thoughtful kid created something beautiful right after being mocked and didn't even try to clap back. That's what people held on to. And you'd think George would have been all about the spotlight, but nah. He didn't care about the noise, he just kept sketching. Quiet, calm, totally unbothered. But here's the real heart of it. After that whole situation, something changed between George and Charlotte. It wasn't just typical sibling stuff anymore. Teachers even said they started showing up to school looking more in sync, like they had this quiet code between them. George, who used to hang back a bit, started opening up more, but not in a loud, performative way. Just subtle stuff like speaking more during group projects, asking questions, sharing his ideas, and everyone around him, they could feel it. Charlotte, on the other hand, was still her confident, fiery self, but she started watching out for him more. Not in a babysitting kind of way, but with this natural protective energy. If someone said something shady, she'd redirect. If he looked nervous, she'd jump in. Even Prince William and Catherine made a light comment during an event saying Charlotte's growing confidence helps George find his voice. And that tells you everything. It wasn't just about defending him, it was about lifting him up. This wasn't just about school drama, it became a reminder of how powerful sibling love can be, even under the royal spotlight. Let's get real, most people freeze up when someone gets embarrassed. It's awkward, right? But Charlotte didn't flinch. She saw her brother hurting and, without yelling or dragging anyone, she showed what it means to stand up for someone you love. And George? He didn't ask for revenge, he just kept drawing, and somehow that quiet act said more than any words ever could. So now I want to hear from you. Have you ever seen someone stand up for a sibling or friend in a moment like that? Or maybe you were the one who stepped in? If this story hit you in the heart even a little, go ahead and like this video. Subscribe if you're here for more real royal moments, not just headlines. And don't forget to hit that bell because next time we're digging even deeper.